Hey everyone, so I thought I would share with you all different snippets as I read these proverbs of what it means to fear the Lord. And so basically what I'll do is whenever I come across in the Bible some new things of like what it means to fear God, I'm just going to share it with you all. And then like maybe I'll make a whole video of like all together what it means to fear God. But I think that these different snippets will help you like with different times. So Proverbs 14 verse 2, part of verse 2 says, whoever walks in uprightness fears the Lord, but he who is devious in his ways despises him. Let's go back to that first part. It says whoever walks in uprightness fears the Lord. So throughout, I believe in my first video when I was talking about my Proverbs challenge, I was like, what does it mean to fear the Lord? Like, obviously it doesn't mean, God, but there's different ways in the Bible that we can fear the Lord. And so in verse 2, whoever walks in uprightness fears the Lord. Here are my notes. I have, whoever does what is right fears the Lord. So it's kind of like your parents, for example, or like your mom, your dad, your boss. I mean, I don't really know my age range here yet, but it's kind of like you're going to do what's right so that you don't get in trouble, right? So say if you want to hang out with your friends, but your room has to be clean first. You're going to make sure your room is clean before you hang out because you don't want to get in trouble. So that's kind of basically what it is. Like, fear isn't more of being scared, but fear is more of a reverence. And so when we're supposed to walk in uprightness, and how that connects to fearing the Lord just basically means doing what is right, because God's always looking, God's always watching us, and so we're supposed to do what is right. This means that yes, God gives us grace, but we have to be careful not to take advantage of it and do the right things, because God can punish us severely if we continue to take advantage of his grace and continue to sin. Yeah, I know God's gonna forgive me if I just do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. Like, he's gonna forgive me anyway. Like, that's what his grace is for, right? Yeah, that's what his grace is for. But if we continuously indulge in the things that are not of Christ, then we're taking advantage of his grace, and that's not fearing God. Like, we're supposed to do what is right because God is always watching. And so for us to do things and be like, oh, he's got me, his grace has got me, and to take advantage of his grace, that's not the right thing that we're supposed to do. That's not what would make God happy. And so one of the ways we can fear the Lord is to do what is right. Because if you continuously do things and take advantage of God's grace, it can come back and bite you. So it's best if you just do what's right, even though it can be hard, even though you may not want to, just do what's right, because God is watching, and God will be proud of you, and you'll be rewarded for doing what is right. But if you do what's wrong, you're going to be punished for it. Just like what I said earlier, if you don't clean your room before you go out, you're going to be punished. Kind of the same thing with God. And so you might not be punished right away, but it'll come back to bite you. So that's one of the ways we could fear the Lord, is to do what is right. So I challenge you, when it comes to you having to make a decision to decide to do this or this, do what's right, because God is watching, and that is one of the ways we can fear him. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this little snippet, and remember that you're a Christian girl who rocks, so embrace yours.